Hey, so this is a video responding to Zuby's Twitter post titled 20 Things I've Learned or Had Confirmed About Humanity During the Pandemic thread. The first thing Zuby wrote is most people would rather be in the majority than be right. I think this is absolutely spot on. I certainly came to this same conclusion actually long before the events that started in 2020 and have been ongoing since. Just from various life experiences, I think most people do have some sort of psychological or cognitive bias to where they feel safety and security within being in alignment with whatever some majority of people, some real majority of people, or some subjectively perceived majority of people. And they will cling to that rather than accept what is actually true, what is actually verifiable, especially when the truth is an uncomfortable truth, a harsh truth, an unpopular truth. People will cling to the majority group opinion or perspective on whatever. Number two, the second thing Zuby wrote. At least 20% of the population has strong authoritarian tendencies, which will emerge under the right conditions. I think it's at least 30%, if not 51% minimum. I absolutely agree with him. I just think that this is a bit too much of a conservative estimate he's making. I think it's more than 20%. And again, with the events of the past 3 years, I have also seen this. I've also suspected this prior to 2020, but 2020 has really solidified and reconfirmed this for me, that absolutely under the right circumstances, people will become authoritarians. And a lot of, there are people in our society, in our world, that are authoritarians. Some who are outwardly and openly so, some who are, they conceal it. Maybe they're not conscious of it. Maybe it's in their subconscious mind and it comes out in subtle ways. But these people certainly exist. And one of the most common scenarios in which you'll see people openly display their authoritarian tendencies is when there is some sort of conflict, there's an in-group, there's an out-group, and the members of an in-group who have the authoritarian tendencies, especially if they are the majority of the population or the majority in whatever particular area or situation, and if they scapegoat the out group, they scapegoat the minority group, it's very easy for them to openly display their authoritarian tendencies. So number three, fear of death is only rivaled by the fear of social disapproval. The latter could be stronger. I think that's fairly accurate too. A lot of people do fear social disapproval, myself included. And it's a very stifling thing to live your life fearing other people disapproving of you. And this probably traces back to humans' evolutionary wiring, when our ancestors used to live in groups and develop the group psychology, and that's most likely still with us today, in our reptilian brain. Number four, propaganda is just as effective in the modern day as it was 100 years ago. Access to limitless information has not made the average person any wiser. I think he's spot on. Number 5, anything and everything can and will be politicized by the media, government, and those who trust them. Sure.